Hi, Tyus.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. And also the background is really special because we are close to the court of San Diego University team. As I start our conversation, it's today is quiet, but during the games, I guess the crowd is crazy.
We're trying to get it so it's crazy here, but yeah, there's definitely more noise than right now. But it's pre before practice, so I can show you. Nobody's here yet. All right.
Uh, I'm really curious. From your perspective, you were star at the UCLA and know the atmosphere from the player perspective. How different is it when you are at the coaching staff?
Um, I guess the main thing is you can't just go on the court and like fix things, you know. If it's going bad, you can't just say, all right, I know, I'll just do something on the court or tell the guys what to do or things like that. So that's what's a little bit tough, but it's fun to try to just get guys to just kind of do what you want. Get them to do what you need them to do as the game's going on. So you just try to coach them up and help them out.
Mm-hmm. And before the first steps at the university and your successful career at UCLA, there was the beginning of the journey with the basketball. And when did it started? And who was your favorite team and player?
Oh, like why I started playing basketball?
Yes.
Oh yeah, young, really. Like at 4 years old, I started really young. So
Mhm.
my brother was older, 2 years older, six. So I started playing with his age, and from there, just fell in love with the game and um, got pretty good, I guess. I was always smaller though. I was always smaller than everyone. So, but I was pretty fast, so that helped. um, and then uh, I did pretty well in high school and got a chance to get a scholarship to UCLA. And basically from there, just it started the journey of, we won a championship, and that helped me to get drafted in the NBA, and then Europe, became an option later on. So that's kind of was the beginning all the way up until the pros.
So before we start with the NBA and the career in the Europe, there was also the Goodwill Games in 1994 in St. Petersburg in Russia.
Yeah.
It was close to be in the finals because in semifinals you lost to Italy.
Hmm.
And when I checked the roster, it was a lot players who were star in the NBA. Tim
Hmm.
Duncan, Michael Finley, Damon Stoudemire,
Yeah.
the other university stars. It looks that it was really close to be in the final, but what happened?
Oh, you brought back some memories there.
There
um,
will be
we
also time
actually,
for better memories.
yeah, but we ran into a good team from Italy. I'm sure their roster had some stars on there too. And I think from in America, we don't see teams from Europe too much. We don't get to watch them or anything like that. So um, I think maybe probably could have not expected them to be so good. And also those teams, you're kind of putting a lot of guys in different schools together and trying to learn how to play together with each other. And so sometimes you can win on talent, but sometimes when you have a good opponent, like Italy, then it's hard to win just on talent. You have to have camaraderie, know what each other's doing, and all that kind of stuff. So, but I remember it was a good experience. It was fun, and it was one of my first experiences playing overseas.
And when you play in the Italy, do you have the chance to meet those some of those players who were then in this Italy team and just talk about the game?
Honestly, I have to look at the roster because I know for sure I know some of them. I never really I never thought about going and seeing like what guys were on that team because I know for sure I know that I played against them and would know them for sure.
And now is the time for the cherry on the top of the cake of your career. So this amazing shot, the layup game winner in the Final Four in 1995 against Missouri. It was 4.8 seconds. The ball goes to Tyus Edney. Did the time slow down? How do you remember that moment?
It was, I mean, we were, I think, ranked #1 going into that game, and Missouri, they outplayed us like pretty much the whole game. But most during the season, usually we would separate ourselves from a team eventually, even if it was close, and then we'd find a way to win. And I remember when when the clock stopped, it was 4.8 seconds, and it was a little bit of a shock. It was like, wait a minute, we're actually down 1 point, and we only have 4.8 seconds. And, our minds were so focused on trying to get to the final, just trying to win and have a good season. So it was a long walk to the huddle. And the coach just kind of told me, he said, get the ball to me, and he wanted me to make a play. So, all I could think was like, all right, my one thing is to get the ball down the floor as fast as I can. So that was my first objective. And then at half court, I went behind my back, and I kind of lost my defender. I don't think they were expecting that. And so it kind of opened up, for me to have an opportunity to go all the way to the rim. And time slowed down, I think, probably when I saw it in the net. Like, you release the ball, and then as I'm watching, you're looking up at the shot to see if it's going to go. And then I felt like when I saw it, I kind of, like, I don't know if I lost sight for a quick second. And then it was like, it was just in the net, and it seemed like it just stayed in the net. Like it just never came out, and then we all started celebrating. So that was a good ending.
Well, I also remember from that epic, one of the most memorable moments in the history of Final Four and NCAA is that your teammate father, former NBA player Marquis Johnson, who was commentary this, yeah baby, he's talking all the time. So it was amazing moment for those who were on the court in the stadium, but also I guess for the whole university. For sure, there was a big party in the camp, but was there also celebration in the Los Angeles Center? How looked celebrating the NCAA titles?
I mean, once we continued to advance, and then we won the championship. Yeah, it was. We were we stayed in Seattle for the night, and then so we partied in Seattle, and everybody that was there, all the Bruins that were in Seattle, we all kind of had a Seattle party. But then we saw on how crazy everybody was in Westwood, and how they were going crazy. They like turned over cars in the Westwood, and it was like nuts. And all we were thinking like is, oh man, we want to be there doing that. Because it looked like fun, So then when we came back, obviously it was parties all over the city, really. So it was a lot of fun.
So a couple of months later, in 1995 NBA draft, you were selected in second round with 47th pick by Sacramento Kings. Were you disappointed that it is a second round, or you were happy that you are in the NBA? How it looks like from your perspective?
I kind of thought I had a chance to be in the first round. I remember that day. It's funny because it's a very stressful day. It's a high tension day, but it's also like an exciting day, if that makes sense, because you don't know exactly what's going to happen. And, you have your agents and everybody's predicting things. But at the end of it, you don't know where you're going to go or when. And so I remember, thinking like there was a chance I might go first round, but then the draft had kept going, and 47 is not early. So then I went. So it was like all these emotions of like excited and like stressed and then worried. And then, so then like when I did get drafted, it was like a combination of all that just at one time. And so, but it was good that I got drafted and you know, it was a place in Sacramento that was they were really excited to draft me. And, you know, you could see that they had plans for me to help them immediately. So it actually worked out.
Mm-hmm. And what did surprise you the most when it came to the NBA? The main differences for you when you compare it to university level?
I think at least at the time when I came to the NBA, most players didn't leave so early to go to the NBA like now, where they just do maybe 1 year in high school or 1 year in college or 2 years in college. They leave. Like most players in the NBA were 3-year, 4-year college players. So, and it's all the stars from all of their college teams, you know, and so they have more, you know, you had older guys, NBA guys, and very experienced and all stars. So I just realize how, you know, sometimes you watch the NBA, it doesn't look like they're going so fast if you watch on TV but when you're in the game and you're playing against them and it's all the best athletes in the world, and it's like the game is actually moving way faster than it seems. And so I just remember, you know, thinking like, man, I got to be like at my full speed a lot more often than I did maybe sometimes in college where I didn't have to be at 100 miles an hour. You know what I mean? But like in order to try to be faster, even in the NBA, I really had to always, you know, be at the top or at the max and be effective at that speed. So, but yeah, that was a difference. And every player, even if they're playing or not, was a star in college. So, or even guys that went high school straight to the NBA. So, you know, it was never a rest or a night off. Like everyone's good, you know. So,
but you've got really good start, and this NBA reality didn't. When you look at statistics, didn't bother you so much because you've got 10.8 points, 6.1 assists. You were selected to the second rookie team, and from statistics point of view, it was the best season in your career. And what happened then?
Well, we had a coaching change in my second year in Sacramento, and they changed the style of play, which wasn't, you know, really suited for me. And so that the second year was a lot more changes. You know, just things like that happened. That's like the NBA. They were changing their format of how they wanted to play. So then I left Sacramento. Then I was a free agent, and then went to Boston with Patino. And that was like a little bit of a tough year because it was, you know, I liked the pressing. That was when he was his first year as a coach, and we were pressing, and it was like, you know, up tempo. I did like that. And so then after that season, that's when the NBA had the lockout, when it went on strike. I don't know if you remember that. So, which it's weird how things work out, because that's when I made the decision to start trying to play overseas.
And when we look at the history, it was really good decision, because with Žalgiris Kowno, you won the championship in the Lithuania and also Euroleague, and were the MVP. Also got the chance to play with your former teammate from UCLA, George Zidek. How do you remember that time in the Lithuania, and was it the best moment in your European career?
I'd say definitely one of them. I mean, it was the EuroLeague win. So, and my teammate, George is actually the one that called me to go and play over there with him. And it ended, you know, the team was very good. You know, we had Anthony Bowie as well. And then a lot of the Lithuanian national team players were on that team. And, you know, I remember as we were practicing and playing, you know, we would, after practice, me and like Anthony Bowie and George, we'd talk to each other like, man, these guys are really good. Like, I think we're going to be all right. Like, I think we'll be good. And so, you know, once you get into it, you start to have success and win games, you know, you realize like And the more we actually learned each other, you know, and how to play together, and we really played fast, you know, which was good for me and my style. And George obviously knew how to play with me because we had 4 years together, and Anthony just being NBA. And then those guys really just, you know, fit in really, you know, fit in great with the up-tempo style, and the coach liked that too. So it was a special season. I think it was one of the most fun seasons that I had over there, I'd say. Because, you know, especially the way it ended, and no one expected us to win. So that was great.
Mm-hmm. And I mentioned about George Zidek, but also your former teammate from UCLA, Edo Bannon, played also in Polish league and also in Europe. And he was selected with you in the same draft. As I remember, he was from the 6th pick draft, but for sure in top 10. But that draft and NBA wasn't too polite for your team and this UCLA championship class, especially Edo Bannon, who looks like for sure all-star caliber for the NBA. So I'm curious what happened with him. Not the good team at the beginning, not the good coach, because many times the talent is one thing, hard effort and work ethic the other, but also the conditions and the team could or build the career or destroy it as well.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, it's all that. I think at the time, I think it was Jersey was they were struggling a little bit. You know, they were trying to figure it out, I believe, and like you said, it's just sometimes the situation, the organization, just trying to, you know, as a rookie, all rookies, you're just trying to figure out where your place is in that league, you know, and trying to figure, you know, the system, the organization, what they want from you, what the coach wants from you. Sometimes it's like hard to. Sometimes it just doesn't work, you know, or maybe the style of play is not great for, you know, your style of play or things like that. So that's kind of part of the NBA, and you have to be a little bit lucky, you know. You have to be lucky to have you know, the right situation for you and for how you play and things like that, which is why you see there's so many trades or different things like that in the NBA because of those factors. So I just think that kind of edges kind of ran into a little bit of that.
So quickly come back to this Lithuanian times. How it was for you to come back to this level which you got in the university, that you were star, that you were got more minutes, you could score, made a lot of assists, and not be a role player in the team like it was in the NBA. What was this feeling?
It felt right, you know. It felt like, because I that's what I loved about basketball, is just doing those things, being a part, being influential in the outcome of the games, and being a major part of the team, and influencing the wins or, you know, unfortunately sometimes the losses, but just being able to be a part of that and be an important part of that was important for me, because that's what I was used to, you know, like at UCLA, that's what I was used to doing. So, you know, like the NBA is a different role. You know, for me, it was a different responsibility. So it was something a little bit new for me. But then, like you said, I was kind of back in a familiar role when I got to Lithuania, and it worked out. It worked out well.
So after that successful season and lockout, do you got a lot of offers from NBA teams?
After the Euro, actually, it was not really. Like, it was. I think that after the EuroLeague win, I got actually more offers from other teams in Europe than in the NBA, and which was interesting because they, you know, you feel like, you know, you had success in Europe, and at the time they were bringing guys from Europe, but maybe not as many as they do nowadays. You know, it's a totally different mindset now. So probably if it was now, it would be more interest, but back then it wasn't as much from the NBA as it was from Europe, and so that's when I decided to go to Benetton, actually.
Mm-hmm. So there was Lithuania. There was most time you spent in Europe in Italian league. There was also time in Greece and Spain. So in which league you've got the most stressful experience regarding playing the games, especially abroad?
The stressful? Oh, Greece. Yeah, Greece. So it was Olympiacos, and I've in Italy, you get a feel of like when you're on the road in the rivalry games, and you get a little bit of the fans getting a little crazy and things like that. But I think the Greece was just another level to that in terms of like fans doing things that were not they're not supposed to do technically. Maybe it's more normal, but here you'd be kicked out of the arena, and for all that they'd probably be no fans left if they did that in America, what they do over there, because everybody be out, so but yeah, the most interesting was probably the rivalry games with Olympiacos and Panathinaikos. Those were like next level, like crazy, so it was an experience, I'd say. And sometimes it was tough because you wanted to be safe, you wanted to finish the game without having any injuries or things like that. And that kind of happened to one of my teammates. So it was a little bit scary sometimes, actually.
And even though you've got some situation after the game and after the stadium where you were, for example, you were walking on the street and suddenly some fans appear and want photo or chat or something like that.
Yeah, they would be good about that, like if you were just around in the city and they're fans or things like that. So it's weird because I feel like off the court everyone is okay, like even if you run into Panathinaikos fans, or they're all, it's like okay, they're like, oh no, I'm Panathinaikos. It's like more fun, but then when you're in the game and in there, it's like a whole different deal, it's like serious business, like. So but yeah, like around the city and things, it was always fun just meeting people, or no issues with that stuff.
As I mentioned, most of the time and European career was in Italy. Was it only the issue that they offer you the best contracts, or also maybe the culture and the atmosphere of this country was something which makes you fall in love with it?
Yeah, I think I went to Treviso, Benetton, right after Lithuania, and I heard about the team, the reputation, and the organization was great. And so we had a good season, not great in Euroleague, but we were in the finals of the Italian league, but we lost to I think it was 4-2 to Bologna at the time, who had a bunch of stars. They were really good. And then I came back to the NBA to play with the Pacers. And but after that, I think because it was back, like you said, I was kind of more in a role playing position, and it was hard for me as a player and a younger player to not be, a main part of winning a championship, or being influential at that level in games. And so that kind of made my decision that I was like, I had opportunity to go back to Benetton and be coached by Mike D'Antoni. I don't know if you remember Mike, but it was a great coach, and a coach that has a style that I like. And so I jumped on the opportunity to go back, and that's when it was really good teams with Benetton, and we did a lot of winning, had some championships. So that was it was a great decision and a great time. And I immersed in the culture then, for real.
As a person from Poland, of course, I have to ask you about the season with Turów Zgorzelec. And what do you remember from that time?
Oh, it was fun. I mean, just a little backstory that season. So I started the season in Capo di Orlando, which was team in Sicily and Italy. And then after a couple months, they kicked the team out of the league. And so I was kind of without a team for a while. Then I went to Spain for a little bit. Then I got injured. And then Poland came up like around, December, January, maybe. It was like later that I had the opportunity to go to Poland. And I know the team was struggling, and I heard that it was a good organization and everything, and they needed experienced guard and all that. So and I was feeling better, so that was good. So I didn't know what to expect. But when I got there, actually one of my teammates, John Turek, called me. He texted me yesterday. I don't know. He was on that team. He's now in California. But yeah, it ended up working out that I guess I feel like I as soon as I landed, it was like, all right, we're playing the game like tomorrow, I was like, oh, okay, all right, we're going right after it. And I think we won the game, and I remember I helped the team, just kind of help the team win and just organize, and we went on a nice little win streak. So it was a great time. I thought it was, I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Good memories, because we won, so it was like I was happy, they were happy, guys were happy.
It's always good to be in the winning mood.
Yes, absolutely.
So after your career as a player, you are still close to the basketball. As I mentioned at the beginning of conversation, you are assistant coach in San Diego. Previous position were in the UCLA. When you've got were assistant coach, you've got also different positions. Mm-hmm. So how it was for you to be again in the university, then the place from which you've got such a good memories, and does people many times just got conversation with you? I remember that layup and so on, because of course you are a legend, NCAA legend.
Yeah. That was fun. It's like coming back home, when I started working back at UCLA and then being a part of the basketball team, and it's just a great opportunity, and it was kind of good timing and a good experience. And yes, like the Bruin faithful do remember like our team and what we did and what I did, or the shot. So yeah, usually a couple times a week, or that people be on campus and they'll say things to me, and like great stories of like what they were doing and remembering. It's like a time of good memories for a lot of Bruin fans at that time. So I definitely did meet a lot of people that remember that and appreciated it. And so yeah, so my time back at UCLA was fun. It was great. It was great.
Yeah. So with your experience as a player, what type of advice do you give to the young players in your team?
I think it's just trying to just help each guy. I feel like my job as a point guard while I was a player was to just try to get the best out of my teammates, and to help them be in positions to make them successful and make the team successful. And like in later on in the career, like even in Poland, and we had some of the younger players, I felt like I was trying to help them and coach them up, and just so they could be more effective and successful. And those types of things I like to try to get the younger guys to understand about just team and about winning and about how they can help the team and be more effective and kind of do the things that they do best, to help them be successful, at least at the college level and maybe beyond. So it's a lot of advice, a lot of things depending on the player. For me, it's really like a personal thing, depending on like the personality of the guys or the players and things like that. And just help the team with just advice about, how to win games, or how to just, get more cohesive, or, be a better team, be closer, what I mean? Things like that. So that's what I try to get across to them.
Mm-hmm. And the last question in OPOstories from the NBA, as usually, is to to prepare the all-time Tyus Edney teammates team. And there are two options. One is with you and the point guard, and the second without you. But I guess that you would like to be on the court and not sitting on the bench. So the first option, I guess, is more accurate.
Yeah. All right. If I'm on the court, I'm gonna go with my UCLA center, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Going with Ed at my 4. Ed at my 4. Then like maybe Michael Jordan and Kobe at my 2 and 3. Yeah. And then there's more. That can be 10, but I don't know. I'll just stop right there. Because then I don't have to do anything. I don't have to shoot. I just have to pass and watch them do all the scoring, and they make it easy on me, you know.
You know, with this kind of teammates, there is a chance for a lot of assists, for sure. Double digits are for sure.
I could average like 15 a game. Like, that's good. That'd be good. 2 points, 15 assists. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I guess that John Stockton is uncomfortable with this situation.
Yes, exactly.
Tyus, thank you very much for the conversation, also for sharing with us the view of San Diego court with the silence, without this atmosphere which is during the game. But thank you very much for having your time for my podcast, and have a nice day.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
We gotta give some USD pub.
Yes, here. Great.
Nice court. Woohoo.
Very nice.
Anyone from Poland's in San Diego, they got to come to the game, okay?
Sure. I will share the invitation.
All right, you'll be you'll make it happen. If they will reach out to you, and then we'll get it done.
Sure. Nice. Thank you very much. Have a nice day
All
again.
Right. Thanks.
Bye.